Donald Trump and social media. The Twitter tycoon's legacy. Love him or hate him, Donald Trump's relationship with social media, especially Twitter, was nothing short of revolutionary. From fiery tweets to rallying his base, Trump turned 280 characters into political firepower. How did one man use social media to dominate the global narrative? And what does it say about the power of platforms like Twitter? Let's dive into the story of Donald Trump and his Twitter empire. Trump joins Twitter. Donald Trump wasn't always a Twitter phenomenon. In 2009, when he joined the platform, Twitter was a growing social media site, not yet the global megaphone it is today. Back then, Trump's tweets were about business advice, his TV show The Apprentice, and, of course, his celebrity feuds. He called out celebrities like Rosie O'Donnell and even hinted at political ambitions long before they became a reality. At first, Trump's use of Twitter was casual. His followers were a mix of reality TV fans, business enthusiasts, and curious onlookers. But over time, Trump realized Twitter's potential. This wasn't just a place to share thoughts, it was a direct line to millions of people. He didn't need journalists or TV channels to amplify his voice. With Twitter, he could control his narrative, unfiltered and uninterrupted. As his follower count grew, so did his influence. Trump wasn't just tweeting for fun. He was building an online persona. And while no one could have predicted it at the time, his early days on Twitter laid the foundation for what would become one of the most controversial and impactful social media presences in history. Trump didn't just join Twitter. He made it his stage. A platform for the people. As Donald Trump's Twitter following grew, so did his use of the platform to connect directly with the public. By the time he launched his 2016 presidential campaign, Twitter had become his megaphone. He didn't rely on traditional press conferences or media outlets to share his thoughts. He tweeted them. Trump's unfiltered style appealed to millions of Americans who felt disconnected from the polished political elites. His tweets felt personal, raw, and authentic, even when they were divisive. Supporters saw him as a man of the people, someone who wasn't afraid to say what he thought, no matter the consequences. Hashtags like #MAGA, Make America Great Again, became rallying cries, turning Twitter into a digital battleground for political discourse. But Trump didn't just connect with his supporters. He also used Twitter to challenge his critics and opponents. Whether he was targeting Hillary Clinton, the media, or global leaders, his tweets often sparked controversy and dominated news cycles. His ability to turn a simple post into a headline showed the true power of social media in the modern age. By the time he became president, Trump's Twitter account wasn't just a tool, it was a phenomenon. For better or worse, he had changed the way political leaders communicate with the public. Tweets that made headlines. Donald Trump's Twitter feed wasn't just a stream of thoughts, it was a source of breaking news, viral moments, and endless debates. Some tweets were strategic, while others felt impulsive. Regardless of the intent, they always made headlines. One of his most infamous tweets was the mysterious Covfefe post. The tweet read, "Despite the constant negative press Covfefe," and then abruptly ended. Within minutes, the internet was flooded with memes, speculation, and jokes. Was it a typo? A secret code? Trump never clarified, but the tweet became a cultural moment. Beyond the humor, Trump's tweets had real-world implications. When he criticized global leaders, like North Korea's Kim Jong-un, tensions escalated. When he announced policies, like the travel ban, it caught even his administration off guard. Trump used Twitter as both a weapon and a shield, shaping the narrative on his terms. Critics argued that his tweets were reckless, while supporters praised him for being direct and transparent. Either way, one thing was clear: every Trump tweet was newsworthy. His Twitter account wasn't just a personal platform. It was a global stage where every word carried weight. Rallying the MAGA movement. Donald Trump's tweets were more than just posts. They were battle cries for a movement. His most famous slogan, "Make America Great Again, MAGA," became synonymous with his presidency, and Twitter played a key role in amplifying it. Trump's Twitter account wasn't just about sharing his views. It became a tool to mobilize millions of people who felt unheard by traditional politicians. Using hashtags like #MAGA, #AmericaFirst, and #DrainTheSwamp, Trump built an online community that extended far beyond the digital world. These tweets were often the sparks that ignited massive rallies, where supporters showed up in droves wearing red MAGA hats. The energy online translated to energy on the ground, and Trump leveraged that momentum throughout his presidency and re-election campaign. But what set Trump apart was his ability to rally people not just in support of him but against his enemies. Whether it was calling out the media as fake news or dubbing political rivals with nicknames like Crooked Hillary, Trump's tweets created a sense of US versus them. His base saw themselves as part of a larger cause, united by Trump's words and the digital camaraderie they found on platforms like Twitter. Critics, however, argued that Trump's use of social media fueled division and hate. But for his supporters, these tweets symbolized a president who was unfiltered, unafraid, and willing to fight for them. Twitter wasn't just a platform for Trump. It was the heartbeat of the MAGA movement. Weaponizing social media. Donald Trump didn't just use Twitter to connect, he weaponized it. For Trump, Twitter was a battlefield, and every tweet was a strategic strike. Whether it was attacking the media, foreign leaders, or his political opponents, Trump's posts were designed to dominate the conversation. One of his key tactics was naming and shaming. By giving his opponents nicknames like Lion Ted or Sleepy Joe, Trump created narratives that stuck. His tweets often framed issues in simple, punchy terms, making them easy for his followers to repeat and spread. But his most controversial use of Twitter came during heated debates and national crises. Trump wasn't afraid to tweet in the middle of a storm, sometimes literally. During natural disasters, social justice protests, and even the COVID-19 pandemic, Trump's posts sparked debates that often overshadowed the events themselves. Critics argued that his tweets were inflammatory and divisive, but Trump supporters saw a president who was willing to take on anyone, anywhere, at any time. His use of Twitter wasn't just about communication, it was about power. Trump understood that in the age of social media, whoever controls the narrative controls the game. And for 4 years, Trump played that game better than anyone. The shutdown heard around the world. In January 2021, everything changed. After the Capitol riots, Twitter made the unprecedented decision to permanently suspend Donald Trump's account. 4 years, Trump's tweets had been a source of controversy, but this moment marked the end of an era. Twitter cited concerns about inciting violence as the reason for the ban, but the decision sparked a global debate. Was this a necessary move to protect public safety, or was it a dangerous precedent for censorship? The world was divided. For Trump, the ban was a major blow. His Twitter account had been his primary tool for communication, allowing him to bypass traditional media and speak directly to his supporters. Without it, his voice was significantly diminished. The fallout extended far beyond Trump. The ban raised questions about the power of tech companies and their role in moderating free speech. If a sitting president could be silenced, what did that mean for ordinary users? Critics accused Twitter of overreach, while others praised the platform for taking a stand. Regardless of where you stand, one thing is clear. Trump's Twitter ban marked a turning point in the history of social media. It showed just how powerful these platforms are, and how quickly that power can be taken away. The aftermath. After his Twitter ban, Donald Trump didn't disappear, he adapted. In the months that followed, he launched his own platform, Truth Social, and began exploring other ways to connect with his base. But without the immediacy and reach of Twitter, his influence online wasn't quite the same. On Truth Social, Trump's posts echoed the tone of his tweets, but the audience was far smaller. While loyal supporters flocked to the platform, it lacked the global reach and viral potential of Twitter. Meanwhile, the mainstream media had moved on, and Trump's absence from Twitter created a noticeable void in the news cycle. But Trump isn't one to back down. In interviews and speeches, he's continued to criticize big tech and position himself as a victim of censorship. For his supporters, this narrative reinforces their belief that the system is rigged against them. The aftermath of Trump's Twitter ban highlights the changing dynamics of social media. While Trump was a master of the platform, his experience shows how fragile online influence can be. It's a reminder that in the digital age, control over communication isn't guaranteed, and even the most powerful voices can be silenced. A new digital frontier. Donald Trump's departure from Twitter didn't mark the end of his social media journey. It sparked the beginning of a new chapter. Determined to reclaim his digital voice, Trump took matters into his own hands. In 2022, he launched Truth Social, a platform designed to be a haven for free speech and a direct competitor to big tech giants like Twitter and Facebook. Truth Social was marketed as a platform for real people who were tired of censorship. Trump's posts, known as truths, quickly became the centerpiece of the platform. His base followed him there, eager to hear from their leader without the interference of tech moderators. With a focus on echoing his signature style, Truth Social became an extension of Trump's brand, emphasizing his anti-establishment ethos. However, Truth Social faced challenges. It struggled to gain the same global reach as Twitter, with significantly fewer users and limited engagement beyond Trump's core supporters. Critics dismissed it as an echo chamber, while supporters hailed it as a necessary alternative to big tech's dominance. Despite these hurdles, Truth Social symbolized Trump's refusal to be silenced. It showcased his resilience and ability to adapt in the face of adversity. For Trump, it wasn't just about creating a platform, it was about proving a point, that his voice, and the voices of his followers, could not be permanently silenced by anyone. Whether you view it as a success or a work in progress, Truth Social represents Trump's enduring influence in the digital age. Donald Trump's time on Twitter may have ended, but the legacy of his tweets lives on. Love him or hate him, Trump's use of social media redefined the relationship between politicians, the media, and the public. His tweets were bold, controversial, and often inflammatory, but they were also strategic. Trump understood the art of creating viral moments, and he used Twitter to control the narrative in ways that no politician had before. From policy announcements to public feuds, his tweets weren't just posts, they were political tools that shaped public discourse. Even after his ban, the echoes of Trump's Twitter activity can still be felt. Politicians worldwide have adopted his playbook, using social media to bypass traditional channels and speak directly to their constituents. Trump's approach highlighted the power of authenticity, whether genuine or calculated, in connecting with people online. But his legacy is also a cautionary tale. The controversies surrounding his tweets, from misinformation to incitement, raised critical questions about the responsibilities of public figures on social media. Trump's tweets showed both the power and the pitfalls of platforms like Twitter, leaving a lasting impact on how we view digital communication. For better or worse, Donald Trump's Twitter era will be remembered as a turning point in political history. He didn't just use Twitter, he owned it, reshaping the platform's role in society and solidifying his place as one of the most influential figures of the digital age. Lessons from the Trump-Twitter era. As the dust settles on Donald Trump's time on Twitter, one question remains. What can we learn from it? Whether you supported him or not, Trump's use of social media offered valuable lessons about the power of technology in shaping public opinion and political movements. First, Trump showed that authenticity, or at least the perception of it, is key. His unfiltered tweets resonated with millions, creating a sense of connection that traditional politicians often lacked. In an era where people are tired of polished soundbites, Trump's raw approach stood out. Second, his tweets demonstrated the importance of timing and consistency. Trump's posts often dropped at moments of high tension, ensuring maximum attention and engagement. He wasn't just tweeting for the sake of it. He understood the value of dominating the news cycle and staying relevant. But perhaps the most significant lesson is the double-edged nature of social media power. While Trump's tweets amplified his voice and mobilized his base, they also fueled division and controversy. His story highlights the need for balance. How can public figures use these platforms responsibly without losing their connection to the people? Trump's journey from Twitter dominance to a permanent ban serves as a case study for the future of social media. It raises questions about free speech, censorship, and the role of tech companies in shaping global conversations. One thing is clear: the Trump-Twitter era has changed the game forever, leaving us with lessons that will shape the digital landscape for years to come. So, what do you think about Donald Trump's use of Twitter? Was he a social media genius, or did his tweets cross the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. See you in the next one.